The sky remembered me, not by name perhaps, but by the ache in my soul, the sunflower reaching for a sun it could never quite grasp. It knew the dust on my boots, the weariness etched on my face, the tremor in my hand as it clutched a brush heavy with the weight of unspoken things. I walked the fields then, a solitary figure against the vast canvas of twilight. The wheat, a sea of gold rippling under the breath of unseen winds, whispered secrets I strained to understand. They spoke of resilience, of bending but not breaking, of finding light even in the deepest shadows. And the crows, those dark messengers against the fiery sky, carried their own burden of silence, mirroring the unspoken words that choked my throat. The stars, like scattered diamonds on velvet, watched with an ancient knowing. Did they see the chaos within? The storm raging beneath the surface of a man who yearned only for peace. Did they understand the torment of a soul trapped between the beauty it perceived and the darkness it could not escape? There was a church, small and humble, its steeple piercing the heavens like a desperate plea. I saw it often from afar, its windows glowing with a soft, inviting light. But I never crossed its threshold. My faith, like a fragile bird, had flown away long ago, leaving behind only an empty nest of doubt and despair. Yet, in the fields, in the rustling leaves and the song of crickets, I found a different kind of solace. The earth, raw and unyielding, offered a grounding I desperately needed. The wind, a constant companion, carried away the whispers of my demons, replacing them with the scent of rain and the promise of a new dawn. I painted the fury of the sky, the tenderness of a single bloom, the loneliness of a winding road. I painted the world as I saw it, not as it was, infused with the colors of my heart, the hues of my longing. Each stroke a prayer, each canvas a confession. The faces I painted, they were not just portraits, but mirrors, reflections of my own fragmented self, searching for wholeness, for understanding. The eyes, windows to souls as troubled as my own, held stories of pain and resilience, of love and loss. Sometimes, in the quiet of the night, I would hear voices, faint echoes carried on the wind, whispers of encouragement, of understanding. Were they real, or simply figments of my imagination, desperate attempts to connect with a world that felt so distant? I remember a woman, her face etched with the wisdom of years, her eyes filled with a gentle sadness. She offered me a cup of tea, a simple act of kindness that brought tears to my eyes. She did not judge, did not question, but simply offered a moment of respite, a brief flicker of warmth in the cold vastness of my solitude. The crows returned each evening, their shadows lengthening across the fields, a constant reminder of mortality, of the fleeting nature of time. But even in their darkness, I found a strange kind of beauty, a stark contrast to the vibrant colors that filled my canvases. And the sky, always the sky, a constant presence, a silent witness. It remembered me, not for my triumphs, but for my struggles, for the battles fought and lost, for the unwavering hope that flickered even in the darkest depths of my despair. The sky remembered the soul that sought to paint its immensity, to capture its fleeting beauty, to find meaning in its eternal expanse. The fields of wheat, they swayed like golden oceans, whispering secrets to the wind. I walked among them, feeling the sun on my face, the earth beneath my feet. A sense of peace, fragile and fleeting, settled over me. The wheat, a symbol of life, of abundance, of the harvest to come. But even in its golden beauty, I saw the shadows, the threat of the storm, the inevitability of decay. I painted the wheat fields again and again, trying to capture their essence, their ever-changing moods, their silent strength. I wanted to show the world the beauty that I saw, the hope that I felt, even in the face of despair. The cypress trees, they stood tall and proud, like dark flames reaching towards the heavens. They were symbols of death and mourning, but also of eternity, of resilience, of the enduring power of nature. I painted them swirling and dancing, full of life and energy, defying their somber reputation. I wanted to show the world that even in death there is beauty, there is hope, there is a connection to something greater than ourselves. The stars, they twinkled like diamonds scattered across the velvet cloth of the night. They were distant and unattainable, yet they filled me with a sense of wonder and awe. I painted them swirling and exploding, full of light and color, a reflection of the infinite possibilities of the universe. I wanted to show the world that even in the darkness, there is light, there is beauty, there is a connection to something beyond our understanding. I remember a small village nestled among the hills, its houses huddled together like frightened children. The windows glowed with a warm, inviting light, promising comfort and companionship. But I remained outside, in the darkness, drawn to the solitude, the silence, the vastness of the night. I was an outsider, always on the periphery, observing the world from a distance. But even in my isolation, I felt a connection to the people who lived in those houses, a shared humanity, a common longing for love and belonging. The rain, it fell in torrents, washing away the dust and grime, cleansing the earth. It was a symbol of sorrow and tears, but also of renewal, of rebirth, of the promise of a new beginning. I stood in the rain, letting it soak me to the bone, feeling the weight of my sadness, the burden of my pain. But even in my misery, I felt a sense of release, a sense of hope, a sense that I could be washed clean, that I could start anew. The sunflowers, they turned their faces towards the sun, following its path across the sky. They were symbols of adoration, of devotion, of unwavering faith. I painted them wilting and drooping, their petals falling to the ground, a reminder of the fleeting nature of beauty, the inevitability of loss. But even in their decay, I saw a strange kind of beauty, a quiet dignity, a silent acceptance of the cycle of life and death. The asylum, it was a place of confinement, of isolation, of despair. But even within its walls, I found moments of beauty, moments of connection, moments of hope. I saw the suffering of my fellow patients, their pain, their confusion, their loneliness. But I also saw their resilience, their strength, their unwavering spirit. We were all broken, all wounded, but we were also all human, all connected by our shared experience of suffering. And in our shared suffering, we found a strange kind of comfort, a sense of belonging, a flicker of light in the darkness. I painted the asylum not as a place of horror, but as a place of healing, a place of refuge, a place where the broken could find solace, where the wounded could find comfort, where the lost could find their way home. Perhaps home wasn't a place at all, but a state of being, a feeling of belonging, a sense of peace within oneself. And perhaps, just perhaps, I was finally beginning to find my way home. And then the wheat. Fields of gold, stretching as far as the eye could see, swaying in the wind like waves on a golden ocean. I walked through them, feeling the sun on my face, the earth beneath my feet. It was a simple pleasure, but it filled me with a sense of peace, a sense of connection to something larger than myself. I painted the wheat, not just as a landscape, but as a symbol of life, of growth, of abundance. Each stalk a testament to the power of nature, each grain a promise of nourishment. I saw myself in the wheat, bending and swaying, but never breaking, always reaching for the sun. The sun, that fiery orb, that life-giving force, that constant source of light and warmth. I painted it as a symbol of hope, of faith, of unwavering belief in the goodness of the world. Even when the shadows were long, even when the darkness was deep, the sun always returned, bringing with it the promise of a new day. And the night, the vast, star-studded night, a canvas of infinite possibilities. I painted the stars, not as distant points of light, but as beacons of hope, as guides in the darkness, as symbols of the eternal. Each star a reminder that we are all connected, that we are all part of something larger than ourselves, that we are all children of the universe. I looked up at the night sky, feeling a sense of awe, a sense of wonder, a sense of belonging. The universe, it was a vast and mysterious place, but it was also a place of beauty, of wonder, of infinite possibilities. And I, a humble painter, a broken soul, was a part of it all. The cypress trees, dark and twisting, reaching towards the sky like flames. They were symbols of mourning, of loss, of the inevitability of death. But even in their darkness, I found a strange kind of beauty, a stark contrast to the vibrant colors that filled my canvases. They were a reminder that life is a fragile thing, that it can be taken away at any moment, but that even in death, there is beauty, there is meaning, there is hope. I painted them reaching, striving, their roots digging deep into the earth, their branches reaching for the heavens. Like me, they were searching, seeking, longing for something more. And the olive trees, ancient and gnarled, their leaves shimmering in the sunlight, they were symbols of peace, of prosperity, of enduring strength. They had witnessed centuries of change, of joy and sorrow, of life and death. They were a reminder that life goes on, that even in the midst of turmoil, there is hope, there is resilience, there is beauty. I painted them with reverence, with respect, with a deep sense of gratitude. They were a gift, a treasure, a reminder of the enduring power of nature. The wind whispered through the fields, carrying with it the scent of wildflowers, the sound of distant church bells, the echoes of laughter. It was a gentle breeze, a soothing balm, a reminder that even in the midst of chaos, there is peace, there is tranquility, there is beauty. I closed my eyes, feeling the wind on my face, letting it carry away my worries, my fears, my doubts. I breathed deeply, filling my lungs with the fresh air, feeling the life force coursing through my veins. I was alive, I was present, I was grateful. And the rain, it fell softly on the earth, washing away the dust, cleansing the soul. It was a gentle rain, a nourishing rain, a reminder that even in the midst of darkness, there is hope, there is renewal, there is rebirth. I stood in the rain, letting it soak me to the bone, feeling the weight of my sadness, the burden of my pain. But even in my misery, I felt a sense of release, a sense of hope, a sense that I could be washed clean, that I could start anew. Perhaps the sky, having remembered me, was finally ready to forgive. Perhaps it was finally ready to let me go. Perhaps it was finally ready to welcome me home.